Robotics is not about R2-D2, obviously. Robotics is about pieces of software. Pieces of software interacting with the enterprise systems that we use today, very much in the same way people interact with those systems. So we are literally talking about replicating human behavior. Eyes on screens, fingers on keyboards, reading documents, reading emails, reading PDFs. We're not interacting with the logic or the underlying computing systems, and therefore robotics is a lot less invasive than traditional computing technology. AML is a very labour-intensive task. It involves a lot of people doing a lot of relatively mundane, repetitive activity. So to give you an example from an organisation I was currently working for, a bank, they had around about 30 people sitting within a control function looking at AML review processes. One process was called the AML Transaction Monitoring Review Alert process. That process absorbed around about 30 minutes of a person's time to undertake each review. It involved the opening of spreadsheets, the moving of data from those spreadsheets into other files, the opening of databases, the extraction of data from those searches, and the collation of information into a repository. That was a really good opportunity for automation, and we were able to reduce the time it took down from that 30 minutes to around about 2 minutes. People talk about robotics replacing people, taking away jobs. And so you'd think people would be scared, frightened, resistant to the technology. But in practice, that's not what we've seen. What we've seen is people have embraced it, they've welcomed it, and they've welcomed our involvement. And I think the reason for that is that they see this as a way of removing the drudgery from their day job, a way of taking away the mundane routine activity that takes up so much time and allowing them to focus on the areas where they feel they can add more value. From a second or third line function perspective, I see really two impacts. First of all, the world of sample-based auditing will diminish. As we automate more and more, then we will have a lot more data about what is going on within our organizations, and that will allow us to move to a more continuous monitoring style of audit rather than the traditional environment we're seeing today. The second impact I think it will have is that the emphasis will move to the world of change. Once a robot is stable, clearly it's just doing what it's programmed to do and should continue to do that unless something changes. So the emphasis of audit work will move towards making sure that when something changes, the robot is still doing what you intended it to do.